The IPCC Cities and Climate Change Conference was co-sponsored by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And it was hosted here in Edmonton at the Edmonton Convention Centre in 2018 for 3 days.
If you accept that climate change is real, then the question becomes for you, what are you going to do about it? The answer cannot be nothing.
What is leadership about, if not being able to mobilize people to achieve a certain end?
The cavalry may not arrive in time. We are the cavalry.
The event saw 800 in-person attendees from all around the world, and we also had 6,000 people join virtually from different countries.
I was asked to be the local chair. There'd been a big fight in Paris at COP21 to get recognition in the agreement that municipalities had a role to play in climate change and stopping climate change.
IPCC's legacy ambitions were twofold. First of all, they were about the assessment of current state of academic policy and practice-based knowledge on cities and climate change. And second, to inspire global and regional research on climate impacts and solutions for cities that will lead to peer-reviewed publications and scientific reports. This will inform IPCC's next assessment report that is regarded as the world's most important assessment of climate change.
Mayor Avison, this conference, I sense something happening here, with all of the conversations, all of the events. Will this help Edmonton act faster, be bolder, take more chances, and stare this beast down?
Don Iveson, our mayor, truly was a visionary. He knew what was coming. He was very proactive in what this city needed, and not just our city, the country as a whole and the globe, which is why I think he went for such a big event, a UN event, to really put the global spotlight on this issue.
There were a couple activities that happened in the planning of the event before it even happened. First of all, there was a Cities and Climate Change Global Mayor Summit. One of the main outcomes was the creation of the Edmonton Declaration, and that is a call to mayors and communities all around the world to advance climate action rapidly. And as of April 2021, it has been signed onto by over 4,500 mayors and cities. Another important outcome of the event was the implementation of the City of Edmonton Change for Climate program. That was the city's commitment to reduce their own emissions by 35% from their baseline year of 2005 by the year 2035.
Thanks to so many of you coming out, the youth who've been doing some extraordinary work at NATE and at U of A.
The event held here at IPCC introduced the world to the power of young people to contribute authentically. And I think that that is a way that these international events will never be the same because of what happened here. This event has led to the engagement of almost 250,000 children from 100 countries. These children have created the Global Child Declaration on Biodiversity, presented it at COP16 in Colombia, and went on to produce the Global Child Manifesto on Climate, presented in Azerbaijan.
The conference also stimulated the advancement of the Community Energy Transition Plan. In fact, Edmonton is one of the first Canadian cities to introduce a carbon budget, and now our finance and our carbon budget are directly connected to one another.
And the carbon budget forcing a city council or a city to look every year at what the effects of their choices are in terms of how much carbon they had left. And the carbon budget, I thought, was a remarkable tool to do that.
The event also led to the creation of the Global Research and Action Agenda on Cities and Climate Change Science. This was a city-focused initiative that resulted in Innovate for Cities, which has now become an event in itself.
Some people think it's a trade-off between economic growth and taking action on climate change. I don't see it that way. I think they actually complement and supplement each other. The more greener technologies that you can develop, more local economies you're creating. We are creating opportunities for people to install solar panels on their homes. We have bought 271 acres of new land to add to the river valley. We are also planting 1 million trees in our city. We are investing in sustainable active modes of transportation that people are enabled to make choices that are healthy for them, less costly for them, more affordable for them, but also less harmful to the environment.
I think the lasting impact that we all want out of something like this is that we actually meet those targets that were agreed to in Paris.
While nations talk, cities act. We as a planet need to act. What this conference demonstrated is that when cities act, they can make a difference.